We're in beautiful Penticton, British Columbia, as the Oilers prospects take to the ice here in the Okanagan to kick off the Young Stars Classic weekend. Tony Brar here alongside 630 Ched's Cam Moon. And Cam, it's a star-studded prospect pool for the Oilers here this weekend. 4 first-round picks, including 2 players looking to make their mark with the big club as early as this season. Of course, I'm talking about defenseman Philip Broberg and forward Dylan Holloway.
Yeah, these guys are close. And in Philip Broberg's case, he played 23 games with the Oilers last season, also split time in Bakersfield. He's right there, right on the cusp of being a regular NHLer. So for him, it's a little bit different, I would think. Dylan Holloway as well. He got up into the one playoff game with Edmonton, but played in Bakersfield, had some injury troubles last year, but worked his way through it. Those guys are really, really close. So for them, this is the start of what they hope to be an NHL season for them. And you want to start off on the right foot. You want to be one of the best players here, not just within your team, but within the tournament. So an important start of the season for both players.
And if all goes well, both players will be on the score sheet a lot this week. And of course, Dylan Holloway, he looks more physically mature. He looks ready to go. He talked about that a couple of days ago back at Rogers Place. And how about Philip Broberg, putting on 12 pounds of muscle? I think he realized what it kind of takes to kind of last in this league, especially over the course of an 82-game season. That extra size and strength will definitely help him.
Absolutely. And because of that experience he had last year at the NHL level, he got to find that out right up front, that hey, to play defense in the NHL, you got to be very strong. When you have players going to the front of the net, you got to be able to keep them out from the front of the net. So adding that muscle is going to help a lot.
And being around the big boys during that big playoff run, certainly something you can't overlook as well. All right, 2 other first-round picks, maybe not making their mark with the big club this year, but expected to have big season with their respective clubs in Xavier Bourgault and, of course, Reed Schaefer.
And I'm so excited to watch Xavier Bourgault, and this is why. He got into some preseason action last year, goes back to Major Junior in Shawinigan in the Quebec Major Junior League, had a great year. His team wins a championship, wins the league championship. They go to the Memorial Cup. So he had a long year where he was one of the best players in the league. Would have played World Juniors, but opted out due to some injury issues. Can't blame him because he had a very long season. I want to see where he is now a year down the road. Having that development time in junior and doing as well as he did. I can't wait to see what he looks like in this rookie group, but also beyond that. And here's a guy that probably isn't that far away from being an NHL player because of what he was able to do over the course of last year. And Reed Schaefer, another player that had a long playoff run with the Seattle Thunderbirds in the WHL, eventually losing out to the Edmonton Oil Kings in what was a great WHL final. He had a breakout season last year and will more than likely go back to junior in what will be a very good Seattle team. They had a lot of players returning this year, and as a result, they have to be in the mix as one of the odds-on favorites to be a WHL champion. He's a big, strong player. He goes to the front of the net. He can make things happen that way, and I can't wait to see what he does here as well.
The scouting report on Schaefer was, as the year went on, he just continued to get better, and of course, he's hoping that trajectory continues here into this weekend in Penticton. Both guys know how to score. In fact, all 4 guys that I've mentioned know how to score, but one guy who knows how to score but wasn't really highly touted for that when he got drafted going in the 6th round was Matvei Petrov. I mean, what an outstanding season for him last year. First year in the OHL with North Bay. 40 goals, Mooner. 90 points, an incredible showing for him last year.
And that's in his 18-year-old season. He's about to go into his 19-year-old season. I mean, it's quite likely he goes back to the OHL. He was drafted not out of the Canadian Hockey League. He was drafted out of Europe. So, I mean, in theory, could he play in the American League? I mean, he could, but the likelihood is he'll go back to junior. He had an incredible year. We saw him at the development camp in, was that July? I guess that was July. And he looked good. Big shot, big time shot, and has a nose for the net, obviously, with his numbers that he had in the O. But this is a guy that, I mean, with a 6th round pick, sometimes you don't know. Every player has different development curves, and successful organizations, they sometimes hit on later picks, and maybe you need a little bit of luck too, and that could be part of it. But Matvei Petrov, to this point, is progressing in a really good way, and he's given himself every opportunity. We'll see where he goes from here, but I can't wait to watch him here.
He has such a quick and wicked release. Oiler fans, be sure to be on the lookout for number 43 throughout this weekend. All right, one more player that I want to mention, a little bit of a dark horse, because when he was drafted, I don't think the Oilers knew exactly what they had in this hidden gem, and that, of course, being Max Wanner. I know Oilers management and their staff were very delighted with his progression over the last year. What can you tell us about the Hulking defenseman?
Well, here is a guy that his trajectory has really gone up quickly. 3 seasons ago, he was playing 18U AAA, and a couple of seasons ago, well, he played a few games of 18U AAA, and then the rest in the Western League, and has just taken off. Like, big guy that plays a strong game. I was able to watch him last year with the Moose Jaw Warriors when they were playing the Edmonton Oil Kings, and he is, again, we're talking about late picks, and he's a 7th round pick. What's the expectation level? You know, for most teams, it's, well, you know, we'll take a shot and hope for the best, because quite honestly, sometimes they turn out. And Max Wanner might be one of those guys, because he has come so far along. Moose Jaw should have a pretty good team this year in the WHL. Max is going to be a big part of it, and he's going to get a lot of reps and get a lot of ice time, and we'll see where he goes from that, but he's given himself an opportunity.
Speaking of ice time, it should be high for him this weekend. It looks like he will be skating with Philip Broberg on the top pair as we take a look at Oilers practice right behind us. All right, the tournament gets started for Edmonton late afternoon as they take on the Winnipeg Jets prospects. You can watch it right here on EdmontonOilers.com and Oilers TV. Cam, thanks so much for doing this.
All right, thanks for having me.